everyone. Welcome to Pen to Paper. I'm Leah Lindman, author of the Canadian Reminiscence series, and today we have another author interview for you. On the author scene, I've got Alyssa Delle Palme. Welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you for having me, Leah.
It's great to have you here today. And Alyssa is the author. I believe is it young adults? Your first one, Summer.
My first novel, Summer at Pine Lake, was a young adult romance novel, and my new novel, Signing Off for the Summer, is an adult romance.
Okay. So you like to do summer romances. I'm kind of seeing a theme with your books. And why don't you tell us one fun fact about yourself?
A fun fact is that I love Broadway musicals, so much so that this year I found a Broadway workout class.
No.
And I've been going on Monday nights, and I always leave sweaty, smiling. Sometimes we dress in costume. Like, it is just the best time.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Okay, I was like, if this is online, please send me the link. But now I know it's not. It's in person. So I guess this is in Ottawa or okay.
Yeah, it's in Ottawa. They have different locations.
Okay.
You can follow them on Instagram at Broadway Workout, I believe is their handle. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have to plug another local business, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Well, here, we'll put that in the comments section at Broadway Workout, we think is the handle.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's crazy. Like, yeah, I love anything to do with like Zumba, with dance.
You would love these classes then.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so
Okay. Or jazz dance, right? Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, like it can depend. So this year the theme is opening numbers. So
Ooh.
Yeah, so we've done songs from like this Monday was Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Which was perfect because Beetlejuice is on at the NAC right now, which I saw last night. And
nice.
So it went with the theme of what's in town.
Okay. And you said you love Broadway musicals. What's your favorite one? Or do you have a favorite one?
I do have a favorite. Anne of Green Gables, for sure, my favorite musical of all time.
You see, I didn't even know that was a musical.
Oh my gosh, you have to, at some point in your life, travel down to PEI, pack your kids in the van, and go see it in Charlottetown. It is.
Okay, like it stays there then in Charlottetown. They don't travel.
No, well, I guess maybe they don't travel, but it does come through, and even local theater like companies have put it on before. So I'll let you know next time I see it, because you definitely want to see the musical.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so cool. I would love to see musical. I love Anne of Green Gables, obviously Canadian. I grew up on, I think I read the first 2 books, maybe 3rd book. Definitely grew up on the movies, like with Megan Follows. Those are the best.
I agree.
Yeah.
You watched the new Anne with an E series?
No, I didn't. I stayed away from it. I had someone who, like a few people who saw it, they're like, no, it's awful. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to ruin my experience now. Did you? Or
I enjoyed it, but
okay.
I'm just obsessed with it. So I'll read anything and watch anything.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know. But also I tend to be a lot more forgiving with adaptations than I think most people are. Like if they're very attached to the original work, I tend to be forgiving because I just understand that because it's TV and movie, it's going to have a different medium. It's going to take a different shape and form.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if it's really different from the original movies, oof, I don't know if I can take that. We'll see. I'll try it. But now we're going to go from classic Canadian literature to contemporary Canadian literature. You are a local author based out of Ottawa, so we're so happy to have you here and highlight Canadian voices. So the first question that I have for you is, what inspired you to write Signing Off for the Summer, and how did the idea of Maggie's story come to you?
Well, before I became an author, I was a broadcast journalist, and my news, sports, and entertainment stories were heard over the airwaves from coast to coast.
Wow.
And I write what I know. So I did experience some toxic workplaces, and I just wanted to explore that and write a different ending to that chapter of my life.
Hmm.
And that's where that idea came from. And then I spent my whole life since I was in diapers, all my at my grandmother's cottage.
Oh, nice.
So the setting is inspired by this place. It's my favorite place in the whole world, and I just know that setting in my bones. So
Yeah,
that's what inspired that part of the book.
that's beautiful. Did you stay there at the cottage like all year round? Was it just like every summer you're there?
It's not a four-season cabin, so you can really only stay the summer months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I have my favorite childhood memories are from there, and it's beautiful because now I can take my own children there.
Oh, that's so sweet. So
Yeah.
stayed there all summer long. I guess you're away from another section of your life. So did you meet friends while you were there, or did you just have like, people that, the family hung out with and that's who you hung out with while you were there?
We did have friends up at the cottage. It's funny because in my first novel, I write about the best friend Jeff, who is next door, and in real life, his name was Jeff.
Oh, no.
And
Cool.
so, yeah, and then we had some other kids on the lake that we were sort of enemies with, and we would break into each other's forts and, funny
Oh,
things like that.
boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All the pranks are coming out.
exactly. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, so that's how that idea came about. And so you did mention you also went through a workplace trauma, toxic relationships. So I guess really you're the perfect person to write this story, to bring it in a way that is sensitive to someone who's gone through that. I guess help people who don't understand what that's like. Like I've never really been through that because the only workplace that I was in before I got married, and I got married at 18, it was like Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Pizza Hut Express, right? And like everyone was nice to me, whatever. Like, and I was there for a year and a half before I got married. So I don't understand workplace, toxic relationships, maybe advances that you don't want to be receiving. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, like I guess you're the perfect
Yes,
person to go
it
through
was
that.
it was easy for me to draw on that
Yeah.
experience. Also, like I have close friends and even family members who have experienced this before as well. So it was really easy for me to write that. I will say I did do some research into toxic relationships and emotional flags, just
Okay.
because I wanted to make sure the dynamics were right and respectful to readers who have been through it. And I just wanted it to be right. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of going into more the psychology behind someone who's imposing that and then receiving that.
Mhm.
Um, so what were your sources for that? I'm curious.
Just like psychology articles on the internet
Okay.
and therapy, like friends that are therapists.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So you're really getting it from the source then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so it does tackle all that, but you also got a romance in there, right? So you're balancing
Yes.
maybe like a lighter, fun summer fling romance that maybe turns into more with those harder, traumatic maybe events and then personal growth. So how did you kind of work that all out so that it was all cohesive and it also made for a very compelling narrative to your readers?
I actually found it really easy to write because in life, like just because one part of your life isn't going very well doesn't mean other parts of your life can't be blossoming.
I love that. I love that so much. I think everyone needs to hear that. Or especially people who feel like they're trapped in like terrible situations and they don't see
Mhm.
a way out. So I love that.
Yeah,
That's
and just like back to what you said, the novel does touch on these themes, but it is a light summer romance novel. So think like campfires, sunset paddles, stargazing, skinny
uh,
dipping in the lake.
Is that where the spice comes into this novel?
Yeah, there's a little bit of spice in this novel.
Okay.
So, but it's definitely a book you want to have in your beach bag this summer.
Okay, that's amazing. I love, my favorite part about camping and like summer is campfires. You break out the bottle of wine and you just sit around the campfire for a few hours and you just share good stories. Like that's chef's kiss during camping. That's my favorite part.
I totally agree. This summer I'm turning 40 and
What?
everybody wanted to know what I want to do. And obviously I want to be at the cottage.
Yeah.
But I had an idea for the evening portion of the party where we're going to have a s'mores competition.
Ooh.
So everyone will bring their own recipe and at least one of the classic ingredients has to be switched. So
Oh,
I'm excited
okay.
for that part.
Like graham crackers, you pick something else, and
You
instead
could
of
put,
marshmallows, you put like, I don't know.
yeah, or it could be savory, like crackers and cheese, or with
That's
something
really
else.
cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so for everyone watching, if you want a fun summer, change up, do a s'mores competition. That's
Yes.
a great amazing idea. I love that. Okay, so we talked about the romance. Let's get into the romance a little bit more. So that's Thomas, and he is her cottage neighbor. And does he play a significant role in her healing process? Is he like, what's his role there? And what was your vision for the character? And then how he relates to what Maggie's going through and his support to that.
Well, I wanted to create a character that was really supportive. So I'm lucky in my life that I do have these supportive relationships in my life.
Yeah.
So I was able to draw qualities from my husband and my mom, my sister, and my best friend. And I just was able to create this supportive character for Maggie.
Okay.
And the way their relationship unfolds is really natural. Like she shows up to the cottage, he's the neighbor. They're just being neighborly and friendly and helping each other out. And then eventually, someone invites someone over for a drink on the deck that overlooks the lake. But that's just where the friendship begins.
Okay.
And then it's a little bit later that, Maggie starts to develop these feelings for him. And then the romance blossoms from there.
That's so nice. It's got that friends to lovers trope then.
Yes, it does.
And
I love that trope.
Maybe like a second chance romance too, because she has just left the city, correct? And away from a toxic boyfriend. Like, tell us, okay, what is the, maybe share the differences between her toxic boyfriend, whatever his name is, and Thomas.
Brody.
Brody, okay.
Brody is a very controlling character.
Hmm.
He's passive aggressive. He makes comments about her looks. He doesn't like, he sort of isolates her in a way, doesn't really like her to have friends, especially male friends. Yeah, so he just has a lot of those red flags that those toxic boyfriends.
Yeah. Okay. And do you want to share like is it like so many people telling her like, oh, there's an issue here, or a scene just happens that she's like, whoa, the light bulb went off and this guy is no good for me? Or is it kind of like an amalgamation of this happened at work, I realized maybe my boyfriend's a little bit of a jerk, I should just leave?
Yeah, she's very overwhelmed. So she quits her internship and she escapes to the cottage. Her friends actually don't know that he's like this. On the outside, he's this very charismatic character. And, there's a part in I don't want to give too much away, but there's a part in the novel where her best friend is like, come on, he's the greatest. He makes you pancakes every Sunday and for breakfast. And what the best friend doesn't realize is that the reason why he makes the pancakes is because he complains about the way she does it and it's not right. So he takes control and, so on the outside, he looks like this great guy. But, she's slowly losing her voice the longer she's in this relationship.
Yeah. So then she leaves and then it's all about crafting her voice and how that comes out later in the book, right? And I
Mhm.
guess Thomas is a supportive role in that, helping her find her voice. And
Yeah, I think the solace of nature, and then having this friend that she can rely on, and who's there to support her and who is kind to her.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, even in the description of your book, I love that you have you could tell nature's kind of like this background character, right? And is
Mhm.
that soothing character. And for anyone watching who's in the Ottawa area, so Alyssa does these Read Between the Pines book club, and they just featured my book, Unborn Melody, and it was the best like author moment ever. Um,
Aw,
in the history of author moments, like
I love that you're saying that.
times, because I also love nature. And as a busy mom of 7, and then, writing, and then so many other things on the plate, it's just hard for me to make time, because I'm making time for all these other things that are very necessary. And it's hard for me to make time to just be out in nature, like cloud gaze or go for
Mhm.
a walk by myself.
Mhm.
And so your book club just facilitated that process, but then you're combining books and nature together, which is just the best combo ever. So
Thank
those of
you.
you watching, you need to be going there. You know what? Let me just, I know you have a website. Let me read between, I'm going to share it in the comments so people can find that if they want. And you just announced the next author, which is you, which for this book. So, you're watching. Oh, why am I not seeing it now? I'm seeing a Read Between the Spines. This is crazy. I will find.
I could probably type in my
Yeah,
website.
or if you can type it on your end. Yeah, for some reason it just doesn't want it. Oh well. Oh, now I'm finding it. Oh,
Okay.
because it's under your Wild Roots Nature Forest School. That's why.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna copy and paste that. Put that in for everyone. You should definitely check it out. And your book is being highlighted, signing off for the summer. Yeah.
July 26th. Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be a sunset book club at the Return to Nature retreat in Wendover. It's this beautiful space. And the night will include some blue therapy invitations from certified guide Miriam from Plein Nature. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there'll be drinks and snacks inspired by the novel. And we'll have a campfire discussion and we'll watch the sunset over the Ottawa River. So
That's amazing.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I am having so much fun. This is a pilot project for Wild Roots. For those that have never heard of us, we're just a nonprofit nature school. And it was really important to me that we feature local authors. So we've had you, and we've had Kate Cole,
Yeah.
was our March read, her under construction novel. And then we're going to have some more in the fall, but I'm not going to, we like to announce it slowly, but we're having the best time just creating the invitations for the activities for the event and reading the novels and choosing which foods tie into the book. And it's just even the locations, like for you, Unborn Melody spoke about the Mackenzie River. So of course we wanted to have the book club by the river and that kind of thing. So
it was perfect. Like really, this is such a top-notch gold idea. So again, for anyone who loves nature and books, you have to make the time to come to this. And I was looking at my schedule, and I think I can I'm penciling in yours. I'm coming again.
Yay! Okay, amazing.
Yeah, I do have to bring my kid to a birthday party in the afternoon. But that's it's a small window, and then I'm back home, and then I can jet off to Ottawa and
amazing.
join.
Yay.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was great. If I could do this every time, I would. So again, depending on schedule, but this time it works. So I'm so happy for that.
Um,
Yeah, so I'm glad you were able to share about the Wild Roots and Nature School. So, as we mentioned, going back to your signing off for the summer, so we did talk about how, there's this toxic boyfriend and he's passive aggressive. So, maybe, he's making fun of her pancakes and maybe she feels a little bit of shame or she just feels down about it. What do you hope that readers, especially those who relate to Maggie's experiences, take away from her story?
that, you have a voice and it's okay to use it. And, I think almost everyone at some point in their life loses that.
Mm,
And just know that there is like a quiet power or strength in rediscovering it again.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even like people intentionally making you feel that way. It's just a set of events, chain of events or experiences. Sure, other people are involved that make you like that happens. Like I went through that. I actually had a loss of identity in my early 20s. There were varying factors. We had my in-laws live with us for a time, but I was also a young mom. I was having my kids and having like that loss of freedom to just kind of go wherever, even with one baby. Like one baby is kind of manageable because you can just cart them off wherever, right? And they just go wherever with you, and it's fine. But then when you have two, and you're like juggling house chores and being with the kids, and like you kind of get lost in
Mhm.
in that. And so yeah, it took a few years for for me to even understand like, oh, how am I actually feeling today? Because I don't even know how I'm feeling. Like I felt so empty
Mhm.
of myself. And then, yeah, just again, taking that time to find your voice through, supportive people. And so I love that that's like a big theme in your book. And I think everyone needs to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what scene or moment in the book was your favorite? So your favorite, most challenging to write and maybe rewarding to write, and why for all those three? And you don't have to give too many spoilers because
Okay.
we don't want too many spoilers. We want to enjoy the book.
I think I have to say the scene between like there's some scenes between Maggie and her grandmother.
Oh,
And I was really close to my grandmother. She passed away probably 13 years ago now. And this writing this scene was just, an opportunity to spend a few more days with her, even though it was just on the page.
that's
Um,
so sweet. I love that.
yeah, I just really enjoyed writing about like her wisdom and the love between the generations. That was really significant for me.
Is when
Um,
Maggie is staying at the cottage, is she with her grandmother? Like her grandmother's.
no,
Oh, okay, okay.
no, yeah, I won't give it away, but
No,
no.
no, because I know there's this aunt that like pokes her head in.
Yes.
Because I know there's like a whole family dynamic too that you also talk about in your book.
Yes, yes. She shows up with this unexpected secret. And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know how I can say it without saying it.
No,
So,
we're not going to get into the secret. Don't reveal the secret. I love secrets. I want to like find out.
but back to your question, the most challenging, honestly, I didn't really have a challenging scene to write, but maybe just the challenge of writing the book.
Mm,
Like I always wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I try to write for an hour or two
wow.
a day, and or like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I don't want to wake up at that time, but I commit to sitting in the chair. And oftentimes I've found that on the days that I'm not inspired to write are the days that I end up writing the most words, or maybe I have a breakthrough in the story, or I get a new idea.
Oh, look
Um,
at me.
yeah, so if there's any aspiring writers out there, I would say, yeah, challenge yourself, sit in the chair, write for an hour a day.
Okay. And is it just like pure discipline that drives you to write that? Or yeah, like how do you go about that with the motivation part of okay, I need to actually get off the bed, get into the
Yeah.
chair.
Well, lucky for me, actually, for 3 of those days, my two older children are competitive swimmers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're getting up at 4:30 and I'm driving them to the pool and I have my laptop with me. And while they swim laps for 2 hours,
Yeah.
the building is quiet and I just sit there and type away.
Okay, so you're typing at the pool. See, that's a great motivator that it's not even just like your future at stake, like it's also your kids, right? And that when you're involving other people and I guess, like thinking more about other people than yourselves, that's also a huge motivator to actually do what you want to do. So, wow.
Definitely.
Okay. So, I'm curious, what time do you go to bed at?
I'm like a grandma. I would love to be in bed by 8 p.m. every night, and often I am. So the summer
Really?
months are a bit harder because it's lighter. So,
Yeah.
In the summer, I just drink more coffee
Okay. Yeah.
to get through it. But during, like when it's dark at 5 p.m., during the fall and winter months, it's really easy for me to go to bed early.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I can't even comprehend that. The closest I've ever gotten to going to bed that early was when I came back from Scotland 2 years. So it's funny. When I went there to Scotland, it was fine. Like no jet lag at all. We landed in the morning. My mom and I, we drove to like this train, this steam train that we wanted to go on. And we were told by a few pilots that I know, like at least nap 2 hours and then you should be good to go. And that was fine. Like, our clocks were fine. We did the whole thing. We did the day. We went to bed at like midnight and our clocks just kept going the way it was supposed to. But when I got back from Scotland, we got back around 5, 6. They took us out to dinner and I was so dead tired. I literally walked up the stairs to my bed. I'm like, sayonara, everybody. I'm going 8:39. This never happens to me. I'm like such a night owl.
Yeah, because we're opposite. I think you said you like to write at night, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I find, and it's funny because I was in a funk where I was waking up at 5 in the morning and I was getting that hour to write, but it's just because I'm such a night owl. Like even the last week, I've been trying to go to bed at 10, and then people are sick and they're crawling into my bed like little kids.
Oh, no.
You don't get good sleep. Already. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Do moms ever really sleep?
I can learn from you. Well, it's definitely an inspiration. I'm going to rethink my sleeping patterns and my schedule. I probably won't do 8. I think I can do 10. I'm going to still aim for 10 because also I've been now waking up at 6. Okay, well, this whole last week, again, out the window, too many late nights. But 2 weeks before that, I was waking up at 6 and I was running. So every second.
Good for you.
Yeah, which really helps. But I think because people have been sick and I've just had few freak nights where just things were going super late. I'm just like, do I really want to wake up at 6? No, but I do want to get back to it. So this is great inspiration for me to do that.
It's like you're listening to your body though. You needed rest. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. I've been needing rest. Okay, so let's get back to the scene. So that was challenging to write the book. What was maybe one of the most rewarding scenes? Maybe not your favorite, but it was very rewarding.
I think just sort of, okay, I'm trying to say it without saying it, but there's a part near the end of the book that comes full circle for Maggie and she takes her power back and moves forward with her life in this positive way. And it felt really good to write it like that.
I think that's also very helpful to the readers, right? Because they're so invested in this character and they want to see everything full circle. And when authors don't do that, it's so frustrating. I can say as a reader. So that's great. This is coming out July 26th. What is next for you? Do you have
the book comes out June 6th.
Oh, sorry, June 6th. I don't know why I said July. Oh, wait, I'm thinking
that's
like
the book club.
Yeah, the book club.
Sorry, what was your question?
What is next for you? Like, do you have ideas of what you want to write next, or
I'm currently
slightly different genre?
I'm currently writing my 3rd novel. So, and it is a story that takes place over 5 summers in the
Oh,
serene expanse of Ontario, cottage country.
okay.
So the setting, it's another summer novel for sure.
Yep.
But it's in this nostalgic summer retreat space that three siblings work to navigate the complexities of love and loss.
Hmm.
And it's my first novel from multiple points of view, so that's new.
That's good.
And yeah, and it's just it's like a love letter to my siblings. So
Oh,
I'm
I
very
love
excited for them to read it.
that's amazing. Yeah, it's I think it's very helpful for every writer to challenge themselves in some ways, and throwing in like different points of view is a
Mhm.
good challenge to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, this whole thing is amazing. Just like a few years ago, I was manifesting, these things to come true. This is my first YouTube live, and I'm just so happy that you invited me to be here. And, I'm feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And just to see,
Good, good. You're doing amazing.
but it really is a dream come true. And just to hear from the readers, that's like the best part, when they message you or they leave you a review.
Yeah.
Um, it just always makes my day.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I love your energy. I love that you have a vision for where you want to go. Is it safe to say that summer's your favorite season?
Definitely. Though I love fall too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So will fall get some books or
I think so.
you think
I
so?
think eventually, yes. And probably winter as well. I mean, I have many ideas written down, so we'll see.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So we were before this live went on, we were talking about how we were connecting over homeschooling because we're both homeschoolers. So what is your and then a question I get asked a lot is, well, how do you have time to write when you homeschool your 7 kids, you're at home, but they also know I have a tons of other projects on the go. How do you do it? Like, so you mentioned your schedule a little bit in the morning. You wake up in the morning at 4:30, you go to the pool, you bring your kids, you're writing. What
Mhm.
is what is the rest of your day look like? How do you incorporate marketing and messaging people and whatever else you have to do as an author, because it does require, like, especially you being self-published, or you are with a small press though, right? Evernight
Yes,
Publishing? Okay.
everyday publishing, yes.
Okay, so what is that journey like, being with a small publisher? Are they Ottawa based or and Canadian based or?
They are Canadian. So the one of the perks of traditional publishing is, they hire the editor, they hire your cover artist.
Yes.
So that doesn't fall on my shoulders. But even in the top 5 publishers now, a lot of the marketing falls on the author's shoulders.
Yeah.
So, including myself. So I have to do a lot of the marketing by myself.
Yeah.
So I write in the morning, and then I homeschool my kids in the morning, like their math curriculum, writing, reading, etc.
Yeah.
But unlike regular school, like, kids are in school all day, but teachers have like 30 kids they have to teach, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
So it actually doesn't take as long when you are doing it one-on-one.
Yeah.
So we do that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we are either going to co-ops. For example, my daughter takes writing lessons in the
Mm,
afternoons. We can do these things in the afternoons. We go on field trips.
yeah.
We do a lot of hiking, forest school. Like, there's a whole fun afternoon. And then I just sort of squeeze in some marketing, usually in the evenings. Like, that's when I'll make dinner, clean
Okay.
that up, and I'll probably work on it for an hour. And then I have to put my phone away or the computer away, because
Yeah.
sometimes I get so excited that then I can't, like, I have all these ideas and I can't sleep.
Oh no.
So I have to have like a 6 p.m. boundary, like I'm not allowed to work anymore.
Yeah.
And and then I try to wind down with the kids, like, reading books or, watching a
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
calling a friend, like that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I do. And then on weekends, like, I have a really supportive, like, husband. So if I need to do, sometimes like I'll do a block of work on the weekends or
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you're doing a book event because you are on the circuit a lot yourself.
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice.
We manage, we figure it out. I have an old-fashioned calendar on my kitchen wall.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
everyone can see the schedule.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing about, like, I have Google Calendar. We used to have those really large, like desk calendars that would go on top of the desk, like the desk surface, right? And my husband and I used to pencil it in, but then it just stopped working for us. So then we do Google Calendar. And so it's his stuff is synced to mine and mine is synced to his. So we both can see what's going on. But then the thing is, the kids every day, they're like, so what's going on? Oh, do I have to spell this out again? Stop asking me, this is what's going on. It's like extra energy I don't want to expend. There's so much other talking we have to do and teaching and all that. So you are a writer. Do you read? Like, where's your reading time whenever you do read a book?
So sometimes I'll read, just for 15 minutes, like to open my eyes, like, adjust my eyes. Cause I don't want to go on my phone right away.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just need something. So I have a Kindle and I'll open that and it's kind of nice to read a few pages. And then I read at night before bed. That really helps me slow down. I'm currently reading The Ark by Emily Murray, her Claire and Brody story.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
And then my favorite time to read though is at the cottage or camping in the summer. Like I'll bring a stack of books. I like the paperback while I'm there.
Yeah.
Smell the pages and the pines, and it's just like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I read all the time.
Okay. Same. Yeah. My reading time's at night before I go to bed. I turn off the screen, turn off the work. Katie here, she says that she loved Summer at Pine Lake. And she doesn't read YA, but she devoured it and she can't wait for signing off for the summer.
Oh, Katie, you're amazing. Thank you.
So sweet. I actually still need to get Summer at Pine Lake. I have to do like a double read of yours. I think I've been wanting to get it for a while, but I wanted to get it personally from you. And I was at the Readers Take Cornwall last year, and I think
it was sold out by the time you got there.
It's amazing. So yeah, next time I see you, I'm gonna have to, or I'll just buy that and then and then I'll, get you to sign it or something. I love to get it from the authors directly if I can, right? Because then you're getting all the proceeds from, your hard work. So but it's okay. I need to get to it. Well, for sure, I'll have to read Signing Off for the Summer before the book club. So I'm ready to ask questions. Yes. Okay, so you've got another work down. Anything else, any other projects in your writer's sphere that you're currently working on? Well, you're doing this pilot project for the Wild Roots and Forest School. I guess you just have this year planned out, and then I guess you see how it goes the year, and then you'll potentially look at next year and see what you can do there.
Exactly. So we have some nonfiction authors that we'd like to feature too in 2026.
Nice.
So, So her name's Vicky from Girl Gone Good.
Okay.
She writes hiking books for the Ottawa area, and she's coming out with a novel this fall. Not a novel, like a nonfiction.
Okay.
Book. And so I'd love to feature her. And there's just so many local authors. So
there's too many now. But I want to get all their books. And it's like, okay. I'll buy 2 now, and the next event I'll buy another 2 until I have all of them.
So, but I can see it going on for many years. Like so far, both events have been sold out so far. So the community's showing up, which is really nice.
Yes, for sure. So is there any other projects, or that's plenty already. If that's all there is, you're doing very well.
Thank you. Yeah, I am working on one other book with a friend. We're co-writing. So she currently has the chapter and I wait. That's actually why we started writing to that together first. And then while she had the chapter, I had nothing to do. So that's why I started writing my third novel. So
No way. That's
yeah,
really cool. And how is the co-writing process going so far?
really fun. Like we're having a blast and yeah, like she'll send it to me and then I sort of edit it. So if a sentence like so that it sounds as if it's one writer,
Yeah.
I'll like maybe change some sentence structure to be more like how I would write it, but it's all her ideas and yeah, so it's a different process.
Okay, so the book is completely her ideas, but you're writing some of it. Is that it?
No, it's shared 50-50, but
Okay.
she's writing one character's point of view and I'm writing the others and it alternates.
And did you have to outline the book and like kind of where the story was going
Yes.
before? Okay.
We outlined it and then before we start every chapter we have a phone chat and
Yeah.
we say okay, we want to hit this point and this point in this chapter.
Yes.
So we sort of have an idea of where it goes, but you know, everything in between is always creative and like who knows where it even comes from, right?
Yeah,
You just sit there and you get these ideas. That's the best part.
well, that's really cool to hear. I wanted to just like tap into that experience because I'm just starting now. Well, I did mention at the Read Between the Pines book club that I'm doing that short story anthology of murder mysteries. But 2 are written by my co-writer, 2 are completely written by me, but we're finally starting the story where we're writing it together. And so last night we just sat together and it was so funny. Like the ideas that he was coming up with, and I'm like, well, is this really going to work? And then I would come up with ideas and he's like, but that's not really my character. But finally, like you find your flow and
Yeah.
then, oh, this is so exciting. We're going to have this subplot and then like it's going to appear here again. And yeah, so I think I think if you have good communication and you're eager to work with that person, it can work, or at least
It
that's
definitely works. Like,
yeah.
you know, that author, Christina Lauren, I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
I've heard of Christina Lauren. Yeah.
They wrote Love and Other Words. That
Okay.
I didn't know, but that's 2 people. They write
Oh.
together all the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
There you go.
But yeah, I think if you both have a passion for writing and a story to tell,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can do it.
It
Yeah.
can work really well. Well, thanks for coming on. It's do you I guess you don't have a copy of your book yet. Do you want to just share one more time when the book's coming out and where people can maybe pick it up once it's out?
Sure. So signing off for the summer is going to be released on Friday, June 6th by Evernight Publishing. It's going to be available online wherever books are sold, and it will also be in select bookstores in Ottawa as well.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone who did come on to check this out. And this will be going up on on the channel permanently. So people whoever couldn't make it live will be able to come back and see this. And it was so wonderful to have you on, Alyssa. And I can't wait to read the first book and this book too.
Thank you so much for having me, Leah. This was so fun.
It was. We'll have to do this again for your next book.
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.